Senate Republicans have a new tax reform plan. It's due to be released today, and it's different from the House version. House Republicans want 4 tax brackets, but according to the New York Times, the Senate bill would create more than that. It would also eliminate deductions for state and local taxes. The House bill would let homeowners deduct property tax up to $10,000. Senators also want to limit the number of people who pay estate tax instead of getting rid of it.
South Dakota Senator John Thune is chairman of the Senate Republican Conference. That makes him the 3rd-ranking Republican in the Senate. He's with us from Capitol Hill. Senator, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning.
Help us understand how the Senate bill is shaping up to be different from the House bill. For example, those that we just listed in terms of state and local deductions, simply doing away with them. Also, there's some reports in the Washington Post that you might delay until 2019 the corporate tax reduction. Can you help us understand?
That will all be rolled out later today, Charlie, but the details are, in some cases, slightly different than what the House did. We took a slightly different approach on some of the major issues, but the contours of the bill will largely follow the House's action. And if you can use an analogy, I mean, we're all on the same team. We want to get to the same end zone, and sometimes we call slightly different plays in the House and the Senate, but that's the way the process works. So you'll see all those details when they come out later today, but we think we've got a strong bill that advances economic growth and higher wages and better jobs.
Will it have a $1.7 billion deficit?
It will have
$1.7 trillion deficit.
I know dimensions here, but it'll be consistent with the instruction that we were given by the Budget Committee, which was a $1.5 trillion deficit to be dealt with in the form of hopefully higher economic growth.
Will the tax brackets change in your plan, or are you planning to keep the 7 brackets that we have now? We keep hearing different things.
Well, there'll be some differences, Gayle, in the brackets from what we have today, and probably as well from what the House did. But what we wanted to do was to design a tax code that delivered meaningful tax relief to middle-income families, and then, of course, on the business side, a tax code that lowers that rate down so our businesses can be competitive in the global marketplace, which all the analysis shows leads to higher wages for American workers. So those are 2 key objectives in this bill. We think we accomplished them. And on the individual side, by doubling the standard deduction, lowering rates, and expanding the child tax credit, you really do drive tax relief to middle-income families, which is something they desperately need.
Can you guarantee that no middle-class family will see their taxes go up?
Norah, I don't think you can guarantee every filer that's going to be the case. But as we look at this, we're trying to maintain the tax burden similar to what it is today, that the distribution of this flows through all the different brackets in a way that's consistent with what Americans are seeing today in terms of their tax burden. So we're trying to keep progressivity in the code, and in all the different income cohorts, make sure that people are getting meaningful tax relief. And I think that the bill will accomplish that, but can you guarantee that every single filer might have some different experience? I don't think you can guarantee that.
A question on, as you know, there's going to be some opposition from some of your friends in the Northeast region about the elimination of deductions for state and local taxes. Can you explain the Republican philosophy about why that should be eliminated?
Well, it's we're trying to do away with a lot of itemized deductions in the code, and we, by doubling the standard deduction, there are about less than 1/3 of the people in the country who itemize today. After this, we think it'll be less than 10% who actually itemize. So it's designed to bring simplification to the code. In terms of that deduction, it's been around for a while, but it also is one that we think subsidizes states that have higher taxes, and eliminating that deduction, I think, will force states to take a look at their budgets, and we think it's something that is an anachronism in the code that needs to go away.
No, you can count votes in this. Then you think this is going to be a straight party line vote, and can it be passed before January 1st?
I think it could be passed before January 1st, Charlie. As to where the votes will come down, I think right now it's going to depend largely on when the bill comes out and we take it to the Finance Committee next week, which we will. We'll have a full markup there. We'll spend all week on it next week, and then we get to the floor, it'll be open to amendment. I'm hoping in the end there'll be Democrats who will vote for it. I think there are going to be enough features about this bill that'll be attractive to them that we may attract some Democrats, but right now we won't know. And I think, I guess I'm hopeful that that'll be the case, and we're going to work hard to make this an attractive bill that both sides will want to support.
Are there plans to take Democrats out to lunch? You know, a lot happens when you have a good meal together, Senator.
It doesn't hurt, Gayle. It doesn't hurt, and a lot of us start our day in the Senate gym together. So we have lots of good conversations down there.
Working out is good too. Always good to see you, Senator Thune. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Nice to be with you.
We think so too, to see you here.